Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys some test hands with the Danger Dark Worlds, just to show you guys what this deck can do. This deck doesn't really have any set combos due to how RNG based it is. However, I just wanted to show you guys maybe 1 to 2 test hands, just to show you guys what this deck can do. With that being said, let's go ahead and shuffle up, and we'll go ahead and see what we can do. Alright, and for y'all, one last cut. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what our hand has in store. So we have Allure of Darkness, Danger Bigfoot, we have Rainbow, Mothman, and a second copy of Rainbow. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with this. So first of all, I will be setting Allure of Darkness, so that way it doesn't get hit by our dangers. Then I will reveal Bigfoot. I'll go ahead and shuffle. And just to keep this as RNG as possible, I will be rolling a die. So there's going to be 1 through 4. 5, 6 is reroll. That is a... This is a bad die to use for this, but that is a 1. So I revealed Bigfoot. It hits Mothman. So Bigfoot will then summon, drawing us a card. Mothman effect will now activate, causing us to draw 1 card, then discard 1 card. So we'll discard Rainbow. Then Rainbow effect will now activate, allowing us to search for a level 5 or higher Dark World. So in this case, we'll be searching Grapha. Then what we're going to do is we're going to activate Gates of Dark Worlds. We'll go ahead start off by banishing our Rainbow, discarding Rainbow to draw 1 card. Rainbow effect, getting us Silva. Just doing a quick shuffle. Then we will set card destruction because we don't know if we need... Because right now we do not want to get rid of the cards in the hands, except for by danger effects. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a 2. Hitting Grapha. Special summon the Tsushinoko to draw 1 card, drawing us another Allure of Darkness. So in this case, we will have to risk it by activating Allure of Darkness to draw 2 cards. This case, we will be getting rid of Mothman. Well, we'll be banishing Mothman. My apologies. Then what we're going to do is we can either go ahead and try to risk it with the Ogopogo, or we can activate one of our other sets. I think I'm going to go ahead and Allure of Darkness because we do run a lot of darks. Alright, so in this case I will be getting rid of the Chupacabra. Now that I have more than 2 cards in hand, I will go ahead and use the Ogopogo. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 6. So that hits Silva to special summon the Ogopogo. Main thing we wanted was the Ogopogo, because this gets us a draw, as well as summoning out Silva. Now what we're going to do is we're going to return Silva to summon Grapha. And then we will overlay into Coach King Giant Trainer. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to activate Giant Trainer effect to detach a material, to draw 1 card, reveal it. If it's a monster, inflict 800. It is not. We'll then use that effect again to draw, reveal it. It is a monster, so we burn our opponent. Then we'll activate the effect 1 more time to draw the last card. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the Grapha effect to send to the grave. Not Grapha, my apologies. The Ginta to search for our copy of Gates of Dark World. I know we already have a Gates of Dark World in the hands. However, we will most likely be going through all of them in this turn. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to activate the Gates of Dark World. We will then activate the effect to banish Ginta and discard Silva. to draw one card. Then we will summon back our Silva, and then Genta will then summon. So that would be Chainlink 1, Chainlink 1, Genta, Chainlink 2, Silva. To summon that back out. And now what we have in our hands is pretty good for what we need. However, at the same time, it could be better. So what we're going to go ahead and do is activate our third copy of Gates of Dark World. We're going to activate Effect. We will then have to banish our Rainbow, which that puts us only down to one copy, so you have to be mindful and be careful of that. Then you'll discard Rainbow, and then you will draw your one card. Rainbow will then search you another copy of either Silva or Grapha. In this case, we will go with Silva. Now what we're going to do, because we do want to get the Rainbow back in hand, is return Silva to add Rainbow back. Then we are going to use Grapha to return Rainbow to hands. Now, just looking at our board, we have 4 monsters, 1 set, 1 spell, and we have 7 cards in hand. We have plus a lot so far this turn. However, of course, as you guys probably have guessed, that is not where this deck ends. So continuing on, we will be activating... Actually, we will start off by linking away... It doesn't matter which two, I will go ahead and link off Giant Trainer and Tsushinoko. Main reason why I say to link off those other two instead of Genta is because Genta is a level 4, which can help us to get to a copy of Abyss Dweller just for our opponent's turn. So then what we're going to do next is we will be activating Dark World Accession. Dark World Accession, we're going to fuse Grapha and Rainbow. Grapha will be banished, Rainbow will be discarded to special summon the Grapha Fusion monster. So the way we're going to do the chain links is we're going to chain link 1 Rainbow, chain link 2 Cross Sheep. So Cross Sheep is guaranteed to activate. We will summon out Mothman. Now Rainbow will now resolve, getting us to our copy of Grapha. So now that we have a bunch of cards in hand, what I'm going to do is I will use the effect of Nessie to shuffle. Because I have 6, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a 1. Alright, so that hits Silva to summon out Nessie. Now Silva's effect will summon itself out. And then, well, of course, we draw off Nessie first. So that got us to Brow. And then we will use Silva to summon itself back out. Alright, so at this point, what we're going to want to do is we will return our Silva to hand to summon Rainbow. We will then return Rainbow. No. Rainbow will just remain on field because we do not have the other Grapha. The other Grapha is currently still in hand. However, we could pretty much easily fix that in just a moment. Dark World Accession is, of course, engraved. I did forget to send that. That is my apologies. So what we can do now, because practically we have a bunch of cards in hand, is we could either try to set up inboard, or if you want to be greedy, which sometimes I am, but I think in this sake I will not, just to show you guys just a basic board without trying to overextend. So pretty much what you'll do is you will link off your just 2 monsters on field into your copy of IP Masquerena, and then you will overlay these 2 into your copy of Abyss Dweller. So because we want this to be full inboard, what I'm going to do, which could also be risky depending if we're going in tier limit, we will activate the card destruction that we're saving for later. So that will be getting rid of 6 cards to draw 6 brand new cards. I will go Grapha 1, Cerulli 2, 3 will be Brow, Silva 4, Silva 5. So you will summon out the Silvas. And of course, because of the Brow, we will be drawing 1 card. And then what we're going to do next is we will summon the Cerulli to our opponents out of the field, and then immediately destroy it using Grapha. And then what happens is, because Cerulli was summoned to your opponents out of the field, you can then discard a card. So in this case, I will be discarding Snow to search for a copy of Archives. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use Rainbow Effects, return Silva to summon back Rainbow. And then I'm going to use Grapha Effect, return, or not use effect, but I'm going to return Silva to summon Grapha. And now at this point, what we're going to do is we will link off our Rainbow and our Grapha and our Cross Sheep into an Apollousa. This is going to have 3 counters. And then, because we want to just be able to set up a little bit more, like, just so that way we can use our IP Masquerena if we need for our, actually use one of our opponent's monsters for, let's say, well, not let's say, so that way you can summon your Underworld Goddess using 1 monster they control. That would require you to summon at least 1 more monster. So what I'm going to do is I will reveal Jackalope, because that is a guaranteed if it gets hit or not. Alright, I have too many cards in hand, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle. And then we'll just cut, and we'll go with that card. Promise you have no clue what this card is. It is Snow. So what you're going to now do is you will summon the Jackalope, draw off Jackalope, and then Snow will get you a search. In this case, we don't really need to search anything in particular, so personally, I'll add Brow. One thing that I learned is you do not want to end with only 4 cards left in your deck or 2 cards. Pretty much you want to have 5 just in case your opponent's playing Runic. I learned that the hard way. But pretty much with this hand, you're going to have a bunch of cards left over. So what you're going to do is, because you can only have 6, what I would suggest is, of course, keeping the Silvas. The dangers aren't really important at this point, so I will keep Brow. I will keep 1 copy of Nessie and the Bigfoot, as well as the second Silva, just for the fact of these are not really as helpful right now, and because we don't really have any use, we're just going to go ahead and pass our turn to our opponent. Now to quickly show you guys what our opponent has to face off against. They're currently up against a 3-negate Apollousa, a Grapha Dragon Overlord of the Dark World, an IP Masquerena with a monster on field to use as a link material, a Abyss Dweller, and the Grapha is going to, like, let's say our opponent activates a monster effect or whatever, you just change it to where you discard the Silva, rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, summon this card. So let's just go ahead and say, draw standby main phase. Our opponent activates, like, summons their starter monster, or they activate a spell to try to bait out a negation. Pretty much immediately we're going to go ahead and hit them with Grapha, because the fact of we will be shutting off their graveyard if they're trying to go with, like, a tier limit play, or just anything that really requires graveyard. So what we're going to do is we will activate Grapha effect, making the opponent's card effect say to discard a card instead. So I will discard Silva. Silva will then, on a separate chain, summon, and because it was sent to the grave, because it was discarded by an opponent's card effect, your opponent has to put 2 cards from their deck, like from their hand, back into their deck. And then what we're going to do after that is we will, on resolution, chain the Abyss Dweller, detaching a material to lock our opponent and ourselves out of the graveyard. That's the only reason why we wanted to use Grapha first, is because we wouldn't be able to summon Silva. Let's say our opponent had a monster on field. I'll just grab the closest card to me. Let's say they had Artillery, Catapult, Turtle. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. But let's say that's the card that they really needed on field. What you're then going to do is you're going to IP Masquerena. You're going to link off 3 monsters. One of them would be the Silva. The other one would be 1 danger or just an extra monster you had on field. And, of course, your IP Masquerena, as well as their monster, to be able to summon Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, making it to where you can negate your opponent from summoning from the graveyard. Then, on top of that, your opponent has to sit through 3 Apollousa as well. So really, this deck is just really powerful, just being able to set up huge boards with a bunch of disruptions. But with that being said, I think that's going to be about it for the video, guys. Be sure to leave a like, comment down below what you guys think of the deck and what this deck can do, as well as where you guys think that you can optimize how you go about doing this. Because as I said, ending with 5 cards is kind of scary, but as long as you have 5, you should be fine against Runic decks. But with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys next time. See ya!